G'day, it's Jane from Thread My Bobbin, and today I've got Blockheads 6 Block 12 Flight Path by Corey Yoder. Lovely block, flying geese. I'm behind on my blockheads due to a few things happening, and I'm catching up on the blocks and I'm catching up on the videos. So let me know if you've kept up or if you're behind as well. Yeah, grab your stuff and let's get going. This block is going to be made up of flying geese. 3 sets of large ones and these 4 blocks of small ones. Now, when I was going through my stuff, I already had a flying geese extra from a block made earlier where I must have accidentally made more than I needed. So I'm going to use that for my D because they're the correct size. With all your A squares, you can go through and put the line down the back, which I've already done. And so now I'm going to take, so if you take your B, C and D squares, because I'm just going to do these and chain piece them. And then you take the larger square, the 2 3/4 square, got your line on the back, and place them in that corner, just line them up. Now, I tend to do the right side first, no particular reason. It's not going to matter which side you do first, but I just find chain piecing them it makes it go a little bit quicker. And if you need to pin them, just put a pin in them, and we're going to sew just to the right hand side of that line, just next to that line. Alright, I've got 4, you'll have 6. So now we're going to trim 1/4 inch on each of these and then press them open. And yeah, if you can hear a noise in the background, I'll try and get rid of it. It's absolutely pouring rain here, and each time I've tried to make a video, the rain comes down. And these, I use these as leaders and enders and just stitch them. You can see I've used one there, and you know, then you have half square triangle. So yeah, just trim them 1/4 inch. We put the other square on the other side. If you find flying geese difficult, you can always just cut them 1/4 inch, cut the piece 1/4 inch bigger and then trim them down. It took me quite a while to be able to get flying geese correct. They are a bit tricky. So now, starting from the center again, we're just going to sew on the outside of that line and just chain piece them through. Again, we trim 1/4 inch on that corner and then press them open. So on step 2, take the 2 1/4 inch square that you've drawn a line on, place 2 of them on the 3 3/4 inch square with the line running diagonally across the block. Sew down each side and then cut on the line. So take these squares, the small squares, and they sit there. So they run from that point through the center. I've been quilting every morning this week, and I'm almost finished quilting my Solstice quilt. Should be done by tomorrow. So if you're not subscribed, perhaps subscribe if you'd like to see that finished quilt. Okay, now What we do now is sew down a 1/4 inch, scant 1/4 inch each side of the blue line again, and you'll end up this point here, these on either side. So do that for all 4 of these. Now we're just going to cut on the drawn line. These are ironed, these have been pressed open. And now they need to be trimmed. So they need to be trimmed to 2 3/4 long and 1 5/8 high. All right, I put washi tape on my ruler at the correct size of the block. And then at 1 3/8, I've put a line which should be the halfway point. So the first thing I'm going to check is that I have a 1/4 inch from the point to the outside. And I do, so that's okay. Cut that off. Then I'm going to again line up this line with the point and my other lines here. And you can see, oops, you can see there's quite a bit of trimming. I'm just going to, these are very small. Whoops. Alright, but that's how I trim them. So I'll just do it again. So step 1, check this. Check that this is a 1/4 inch wide, and it is. Alright, I'm going to trim that bit off. There. Then I turn it that way. Again, this is just the way I do it. Take that line that's got to go through the point of the geese. And put this line down the edge. And go that way. And now, again, line up. We've got the bottom. That should go through the bottom, the point, and the side. So now I'm going to go through and trim those to size. All right, there's our little flying geese. The other thing I just mentioned too, on the back of my ruler I have these round grippy kind of dots. You can just buy them in sheets and stick them on your rulers, and they do definitely help, especially with smaller blocks. So that's another helpful thing to put on your rulers. All right, now we're down to joining them. All right, what have we got? Step 3. 1, 2, 2. All right. I'm going to sew those together, and then we've got those blocks, and then we've got these just sewn together in 2s. And so what I found was with these ones, there was lots of rooms. Like I've got all that to trim them. With these ones, there was not much room for error, and some of mine are a fraction short, but that's okay. So if you're worried about those ones, add a tiny little bit to the size of the block. Right, I'm going to join those together now and then come back. The blocks have been ironed, and the way that I've pressed them is I've pressed everything towards the same direction as the point, so all going that way. And I think that will give a flatter look. The same with these small ones, everything's pressed going in the same direction as the points. Now it's just to join these two and then join this as a 4 patch, and I'll be back to show you the finished block. So here's the final block, and I just want to show you something with the pressing on the back. When I was talking about pressing before, I said that these small geese I had pressed all in the same direction. Okay, what would work better would be to press one row with the point seams going in that direction and the other row with the seams going in that other direction, and that way they would nest when you join these two sides together. I didn't change mine around, I just joined them, and then I've ironed that seam between the two of them open. But if I was doing it again, that's what I'd do. Now, the other thing is the way that I've ironed this is I've actually just ironed it to one side. Okay, that does create a bit of a lump in the center, but you know, I'm going to quilt my own quilt, so I just will avoid that. But that's what I've done on the back. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know how you're going. If you are behind like I am, I'm hoping to catch up over the next probably 10 days. There might be a few videos on blockheads. It would be great if you could subscribe, like, comment, let me know how you're doing with your blockheads. Okay, see you in the next video.